Okay, folks, if you've been watching this show for a couple of years, we used to have a thing every once in a while. We call it Salute to a Senior, where we would recognize some particular talent of a senior or somebody who would come to the Council on Aging. And we have such a woman here. I would like to bring it up for Marguerite Lemmon. Okay, do you want to give us a
Is that enough?
Yeah,
that was enough.
Good. Marguerite Lemmon is probably best known, if you have frequented the COA, as a Masters champion in the game of Scrabble. But it was just last week. It was just last week that I found out that she has a much larger talent.
She has a smartphone.
She has a smartphone and probably knows more how to use it than I do. But anyhow, she is also an author.
Thank
so
you.
Marguerite, tell us about this.
Okay, this is my new book. It's called Mr. Bumbles and Council Bluffs. It's a story for children, probably depends upon how much children read or how much their parents read to them. For children 3 to 8, maybe 8 or 9, it's a story about a truck driver.
73-year-olds, can I?
A 75-year-old.
Okay.
Truck driver, and I wrote it as a tribute to my husband, who at that time was driving a truck, and he would go across the country and bring our little dog, Mr. Bumbles, with him.
That was the dog's name?
Huh?
That was the dog's name, Mr. Bumbles?
It was, yeah, it was. And Mr. Bumbles was a name that seemed to stick to him and seemed very apropos for him. So basically, it's a story about a little dog who lives in a truck. The owner of the truck, Mr. Bob, who is really in reality my husband.
Do you do the sketches too?
No.
Okay.
No, they're done by an illustrator.
Right.
By an illustrator whose father was a truck driver, so he took a personal interest in this book. But he goes to Gloucester and he picks up fish in Gloucester, carries it to California, and then comes back with fruit and vegetables from California. Well, the little dog likes to chase rabbits. So one day he sees a rabbit as they're going along, or after they're stopped actually. He jumps out of the truck and he chases the rabbit into a cornfield. And the cornfield starts to flood because there's been a lot of rain.
The drama is building at this point.
It is.
All right.
And the cornfield gets totally full, so he gets into lots of trouble.
Uh-oh.
And ends up having to be rescued by helicopter.
Oh, wow.
And taken and ends up back in the truck where he's, see if I can turn the page here, where they end up going back down the road.
Taking a nice nap after his adventure.
I think that it's very kind of timely because of Harvey, of course, and all the flooding and the rescuing that's going on at this time, or was going on last week for sure. But anyway,
that is cool.
That's a story, and I wrote it as a tribute to my husband who died a couple of years ago, and I just wanted somehow to do something for him, and that's what I did.
Oh, cool. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing probably since I was little, maybe, and I've had more things published in when I was a teacher.
What did you teach?
Well, I taught lots of things, but English and art and photography and French.
Photography?
Yeah.
You said you had an iPhone.
Is that an iPhone? Is that what that is?
No, an iPhone now. The iPhones are taking over. I have an iPhone 7.
No, the one that has the word of the day. The word of the day.
That's an app.
Oh, well, I know that.
That Marguerite cheats on, because I used to come into the Scrabble group and give them the word of the day.
Wonderful words
and
that
lately,
none of us knew.
Strange words, and I come in and Marguerite rattles off, well, that means the end of summer, blah, blah, blah. And I go, wait a minute. So, but no, if you want to get back into photography, these iPhones have tremendous lenses. Really? Anyhow.
My husband, before he became a truck driver was the head photographer at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston for a
Get
long
out.
time. So I do know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a switch.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So anyhow,
Well, it goes to show you that you should do what you like to do in life,
yes,
kind of, I think.
I'm still trying to find my way, but no.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. That's the business about being a senior.
Okay.
You can still start something new. You can do
By the way,
something new.
this is an active Scrabble group down there. If you're into Scrabble, come down Wednesday morning.
Oh
It's
yes,
fun to watch these
absolutely.
ladies. They don't yell too much, but
We feel that we intimidate people because nobody comes except us. I mean,
maybe we get that Jim Wheezy. Have you seen that weird guy around here?
no.
I just,
Is there
he's just off camera over there. So anyhow, how did you started writing at a young age? What is it? Always children's stuff, or just all over the place?
No, I wrote mostly educational. I call it nonsense, but
Teach a lesson type thing. Right?
no, I wrote teacher lessons. But I don't know. During Boston's desegregation,
Oh yes.
I was teaching at South Boston High, so
Oh my goodness, that was
at
the center
that
of it.
time that was the center of it, and so people would want you to write for them, write articles and stuff like that. So my other teachers and I did usually started out writing educational stuff.
Was it just an anniversary
Grants,
of that? Because I saw somebody ran on TV a remembrance of that area. And
Probably.
Rocking the bus.
Some of us are still alive.
Louise Day Hicks and all that other stuff. But
Yeah.
she was. But no, I mean, the picture was terrifying. I mean, you thought of the segregation that used to go on down, University of Mississippi and stuff, and people were rocking the bus of the black kids who had been,
Probably.
it was terrifying. But anyhow.
Yeah, especially if one was on it, which I was a couple of times when
Really?
they were stoned. Yeah.
Oh my
Of
goodness.
course, it was a disaster. It was a very sad time in Boston, I think.
It was. And,
Especially for the kids, for young people, I think.
and for a city that's always been considered somewhat liberal, it was kind of a shock, I think, to a lot of people. So anyhow, what moves you to write? When something comes in, you get an idea, or just...
No, I like children's stories. My husband and I would, in the summertime, I would go out in the truck with him when I wasn't teaching, go across country with him, and we would
Knight and Lady of the Road?
write little stories about our dog to amuse ourselves as we drove along. So I've decided that now I have all this time on my hands
When you're not playing Scrabble.
when I'm not playing Scrabble, which we would really like people to come to Scrabble. But we don't know why they'll come once and then they...
Well, maybe we'll drum
don't
up
come
some
again.
business through this segment on the show. You don't know. I mean, I'm pretty
We'd write stories. So I have a lot of stories. I'm working on the second one now, getting it ready for the illustrator, to work with the illustrator. Yeah.
There's quite a writing group here at the seniors.
That's
Do you know
interesting.
Lucy Myers? She runs a class. I took it twice, but have gotten busy with this and driving the van. And she's a former teacher, I think.
Oh,
Went to Smith. Anyhow, very talented. And she has interesting ideas. One of the first things she did, she placed a bunch of different objects on the table. And you had to pick one up and write a story about it.
I used to give my high school students, because I was an English teacher too, a lesson in, I gave them a penny and they had to do the adventures of the penny.
Really?
Where it came from, the history of the penny. Where they picked
I
it
had
up.
a nun. I wonder if you taught her.
Probably did. She probably taught me.
We did a thing like that, and I was assigned to write about a pencil.
Yep.
And I
You've
wrote
done
about how
that.
it was the pencil of a reporter and how I used to travel all over the place. And he would use me to scribble all these notes about these great events.
That sounds like a good creative writing student.
Boy, I haven't thought of
Well,
that in years. I was like the 6th or 7th
You
grade.
ought to take Lucy Myers' class.
I did. So let me tell you,
Again.
I will do it again. She's always after me. Anyhow, when she put these objects down, the one I picked up was a little grater,
Ah,
little grater, and I call the story Freddie the Greater. And I was born in the Alliance Metal Company in 1930. I don't know, it goes on and on how we went through good owners and then bad owners. And anyhow, it ends up nice because he's picked up at a flea market by a young newly married couple. So anyhow, so we can get this book. It is for sale at...
Well, it's available on Amazon, of course. It's available in hardcover, in softcover, which I didn't bring, but the hardcover, I like the hardcover version. I think it looks nice. The illustrator is wonderful. It's available on Google and Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble.
Who's the illustrator? Jack Weens?
Weens.
Okay. But it's also available at Conley's in Ipswich, right?
Yeah, they have 5 copies. I think they have some copies there.
That's cool. I am impressed. So what's the next one going to be?
The next one is Mr. Bumbles in Nogales. Nogales?
Yes.
Nogales is a town in Arizona.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Close to the Mexican border.
It certainly is.
Is he going to drink tequila?
No, Bob is going to pick up zucchini and peppers. Coming from Mexico. These are all true. These are all things that are all true. I mean, it's not...
Zucchini and peppers.
Zucchini and peppers. You didn't know your peppers came from Mexico.
That's the start of a good ratatouille.
That's true.
Do you cook?
No, I do, yes, but am I a cook? No.
Because we have a cooking segment on here. We generally have grumpy old men. We should have a woman.
No.
She doesn't have to be grumpy, but like...
I don't think so.
No specialty, maybe?
No.
How about Mr. Bumbles in the kitchen?
Mr. Bumbles, it's only Mr. Bumbles in different towns.
Okay.
So I have Mr. Bumbles in Nogales coming up.
Yeah.
Mr. Bumbles is going to be in Bangor, Maine, or Brewer. It's outside of Bangor.
How do you come up with these? That's a great idea.
Because I went with my husband in the summertime.
To all those towns?
To those towns.
Wow. Oh, Bangor.
So what would you think you'd pick up in Maine if you were a truck driver, Paul?
Blueberries.
Do you know something? Blueberries... No, because the blueberry farmers in Maine are going out of business.
Why?
Because all the blueberries are being imported from Canada. That's.
But the wild ones, don't they have the little teeny ones?
They're being totally driven out of business. Blueberry fields going.
Potatoes.
Idaho. Yeah, you could pick up potatoes in Maine. No, inserts for newspapers. Inserts. Maine, timber. Wood,
oh, that's right, all
timber.
The paper companies up Great Northern and all that other stuff.
Yeah, so they do a lot of their inserts for...
Lobsters.
No, lobster in Gloucester. Lobster in Gloucester. Lobster.
Oh.
I'll show the camera. Lobster. And fish from Gloucester to California.
Wow.
Fruits and vegetables from California to Gloucester.
There's a few lobsters in Maine, though, too.
There are.
Yeah. Well, I thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
And I hope people get interested. If people have grandmothers, us old people, old folk as I call us, have grandchildren that make wonderful Christmas presents.
Well, you know Lynn Gibbs, one of our receptionists? She has a new grandchild. She should buy one of these for Christmas for her.
Is that Lynn?
That's Lynn Gibbs over there now.
Wasn't sure of her name.
Well, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time. And I look forward to Mr. Bumbles in Nogales.
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 Okay.
Gotta learn your Mexican.
Thank you.